All eyes will be on the sky in about 3.5 weeks because of a rare total solar eclipse. But what does that mean for the BG community? Welcome to Community Corner, where we talk about interesting topics with people in the BG community. I'm Sierra Geronimo. Bowling Green is prepping for the eclipse on Monday, April 8th. What is a total solar eclipse? It is where the moon passes between the Earth and the Sun, bathing a portion of the Earth in darkness. Today we are talking to the Wood County Emergency Management Agency Director, Jeff Klein, to tell us more about the eclipse and how we should prepare for this event. Thank you for coming, Jeff.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, so why is a total solar eclipse in BG so special?
Well, one of the first things is it's very rare. I mean, Ohio hasn't really had a total solar eclipse since 1806. And, you know, it's one of those things that is kind of a natural phenomenon that people have heard about, but they really haven't had a chance to see it. And now we have a chance to see it, not just in our area, but in our own backyard. And a lot of people, I think, see this as a great opportunity to see something, you know, as I say, that just nobody has really ever seen before in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the last time that this happened, I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, we have not, since any of us that are watching have been alive, have had anything like this. You know, we've had to go other places, and we just had the one in 2017 in Kentucky. And I think that's going to bring a lot of interest to this event, because a lot of people went and saw it, and I know in our travels we've talked to a lot of people that said, wow, it was just such a cool thing and so hard to explain and breathtaking and life-changing and all that. So I think that's going to help bring more people into the city, and I think that's one of the things that we kind of have to be cognizant of, because it's going to change our lifestyle for a couple days with all these people.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many are coming to the city, but the weather is going to play a major role in the eclipse turnout in BG. So can you tell us some more about that?
You know, statistically, the weather on April 8th is a low of 30, high of 50, low percent chance of rain, but 60 to 75% chance of clouds in the sky. Doesn't mean that it's going to be totally cloudy, but the clouds. And that is one of the big challenges that we have, trying to identify how many people we're really going to get. Because if we don't have good weather, and people may decide to go to a different area, so we may not get near as many people. But if we have nice weather, we're going to get a lot of people. They're going to come in and see it. In Wood County especially, and I think Bowling Green has a lot of good viewing locations for people to go to. A lot of good parking lots, you've got restaurants, you've got things that, you know, give people something to do before the eclipse. So I do anticipate that day is going to be a busy day around Bowling Green.
Yeah. And is there like any possible way that we're going to know, or people are going to know, what the weather is going to be like leading up to that?
Well, 2 weeks before this, we're going to get some information from the National Weather Service. It's going to be a little bit more involved than your typical 2-week forecast. And kind of the things we're looking for is above average temperatures, below average, above below average rain, that type of thing. Because that'll kind of give us an idea, is it going to be warm and sunny? Is it going to be cold and sunny? Is it going to be, you know, hot and rainy? And then about a week before, we'll have a much better idea what the weather will be. But realistically, it's probably going to be about 3 days before we'll have a really good idea of what that weather is going to be.
And so what can we expect to see like around town if it is nice weather and we have a whole bunch of people?
Well, the big thing, when we've talked to a lot of people from 2017, one of the things that everybody talked about was the number of people and the traffic problems and getting around and some of those things. And it's kind of interesting when they started looking at how many people could potentially be coming to our area. They started doing some traffic modeling, and one of the things that they found was that the roads that we have around here, because we've got Route 25 next to I-75, can handle a lot of extra traffic. So a lot of the interstate traffic problems that they had in 2017, we probably aren't going to have. But what that means is the people that are getting stuck on 75 that are getting off are coming into Bowling Green. And I think when you look at Worcester is just inviting for people to get off. As I say, you've got restaurants, you've got gas stations, you've got things that people want to see. And the problem, I think, one of the big challenges is going to be is when you get off and you look to the north, you see the university, you see the Stroh Center, football stadium, things like that. When you look to the south, look to the left, you see restaurants, and trying to figure out where do I want to go, and then you've got the new roundabout that people have to try and navigate it. I think traffic's going to be backed up. It's going to be a little bit slower because people are coming into the area trying to figure out where they want to go, what they want to do. So I think Wooster Avenue is really going to be kind of one of the big highlight areas where you have the traffic, and probably Main Street, Route 25 through downtown Bowling Green. One thing I would like to say, just kind of to caution everybody, I'm kind of concerned with your crosswalks. Especially the ones with the flashing lights.
Yeah.
On my way here today, I saw some individuals didn't understand what those were for, and I would really caution people on the 8th and a few days before and even afterwards. We're getting a lot of people that don't understand those crosswalks. Please don't just step out in the street when they're like, when you get to cross, it's okay to cross. Make sure that the traffic is stopped, because it's interesting, but I don't think a lot of out-of-town people really understand what the red lights mean, the flashing lights and that, so just be extra careful.
Yeah, absolutely. So now the community has concerns about the amount of people, specifically with emergency services. Are there any plans put into place to talk about that, or about any road closures? Like you said, Wooster Street is going to be...
Yep, the City of Bowling Green has been very proactive, and we've been working with them for well over a year now to get some different things done. They have identified some streets that they believe would be great for emergency lanes, things like that. They're going to have pre-placed barricades, so if certain areas get busy, they'll be able to shut some of those roads down. One of the things that we're looking at on our end is, one of the things that we found recently is people are really following Google and Waze in your phone mapping programs, and it's not necessarily sending people where we want them to go, or what's the best road for them to go on, because it's a program, it doesn't really know this road has got parking on one side or what have you. So we are going to kind of work with the City of Bowling Green to potentially close some certain roads on the maps to keep people off of those. So we're going to try and do a couple different things to keep those emergency lanes open. Everybody should be rest assured that the fire departments, police departments, law enforcement, everybody's prepared. This is not going to be a surprise the day that this happens. They've got their plans in place. Not to necessarily worry about that, but one of the things is to call 911. It's still going to work. If we have a lot of people, it may take a little bit longer for them to get to you. If somebody is in a crowded area, say, if you could have people out there that could help direct the first responders into where the problem's at, that would be very helpful for them. I used to be on a fire department myself, and there's nothing like pulling up to a crowd of 300 people, knowing somebody called you and everybody's looking at you and nobody's like really pointing that person out. So that would be one of the things that I think the public could probably really help with on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just kind of go off, especially with very crowded areas, what do you suggest people do, in case there is an emergency situation but you're stuck in this huge crowd of people?
The thing is first responders deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we deal with things where there's a whole group of people. The first thing is try and keep your calm. Try not to cause any more issues than there already are. If there's somebody there that can help them, let that person help them. Like I say, one of the biggest things people don't realize is when you pull up and you see a sea of people, it really sometimes hard to see the emergency. So having people that can kind of direct you, say, hey, go here. And if it's a long distance they have to go, maybe you have 3 or 4 people. Hey, go to the person wearing, the red hat, go to the person wearing the green hat, go to the, things like that, I think would be very helpful for them. And kind of have an idea, if you do have to call 911, a lot of times if you're in an area you're not familiar with, it's kind of hard to give street names, things like that. But a lot of times if you say, you know what, I see the Stroh Center, that tells them right where you're at, that we're within a really close spot to that, and it just kind of helps get them there that much quicker. Because in an emergency, if you've ever had to call for 911 or call for help or something like that, it just seems like it takes forever. And even first responders, when we've had to call for extra people to come, it just seems like it takes forever for them to get there. They don't get here quick enough, so we understand what that's like.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another safety concern is the use of Eclipse glasses, which
yes, we have a pair of Eclipse
right
glasses. And one of the things that was interesting in 2017 was they had 16,000 eye injuries.
Wow.
Because of that. And one of the things it's weird, but it's like it hurts your eyes to look at the sun, but you don't really necessarily realize damage is being done. And the problem is in a few days when your eyes don't get better or they really do start hurting and you go to the doctor, its damage has been done and there's nothing anybody can do to fix it. So you're going to live with that for the rest of your life. So it's very important that people take care in doing that. There's a lot of different glasses that are out there, but one of the ones that you really want to make sure is it's got an ISO rating on it. And it should be on the side here. The ISO rating everybody's looking for is 12312. That is the key to it. Make sure that it's got that ISO rating. We're finding out that there are groups that are giving out glasses, and I hate to say that you would think they would be reputable. You would hate to say I think I can trust them, but they don't have that ISO rating on. And another thing that we're hearing is people are saying, well, you know what, I can wear my welding glasses. It's a different type of light. And to me, it's a scientific thing. It kind of seems strange. It seems like it's dark enough, but it's really not. And you know, it's just not worth permanently damaging your eyes when you can get these things for $2. And in most places, a lot of places, you can get them for free. So take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Jeff, and thank you so much for joining us in the Community Corner. For more information about the Eclipse in Bowling Green, you can visit bgohio.org. Thanks for joining us in the Community Corner. Stay tuned after the break for an excellent Easter event.